If you want real change in your life, if you truly want to become the highest version of yourself, you cannot play by the same old rules anymore. It's time to be ruthless. You've been living on repeat for too long, every day blending into the next in a trance of old habits, limiting beliefs, and unfulfilled potential. But I'm here to shake you out of that hypnotic state and give you the cold, hard truth. If you want something more out of this life, you have to fight for it with every fiber of your being. The path of least resistance will only continue to lead you down the same well-worn road to nowhere. To create something new, to energize possibility in your life, you must be ruthlessly committed and ruthlessly focused on architecting your mind in a new direction. I'm talking about becoming a heat-seeking mind missile locked onto the target of your grandest vision. I'm talking about having zero tolerance for any thought, feeling, or behavior that doesn't serve your evolution. It's time to be ruthless with where you point your mind. You want to lose weight? Be ruthless about it. You want to start that business? Be ruthless. You want to heal from past trauma? Be ruthless in reprogramming those emotional circuits. Half measures will only breed more disappointment. From this moment on, when an old disempowering habit tries to lure you in, you cut it off at the knees. When you catch yourself slipping into a scarcity mindset, you mercilessly replace it with affirmations of wealth and abundance. If fear comes knocking, you look it dead in the eye and say, "Not today." It's time to stop living in that cozy little foxhole of complacency. It's time to stop hitting the snooze button on your biggest dreams and goals. The mind is the most powerful technology on this planet, which means you are the most powerful technology on this planet. But you have to be ruthless about optimizing and upgrading yourself. Here's the reality. You are at war with an internal force desperately campaigning to keep you small, to keep you identifying with your limitations instead of your unlimited potential. That force is the outdated, environmentally programmed, self-patterned into your neurons and membranes over decades of conscious and unconscious conditioning. But you can be ruthless in rewriting those patterns. Through the processes of meditation, visualization, incantations, and rehearsing the new self you want to embody, you can become a psych engineering force restructuring your biology into a powerful vehicle carrying you to freedom. That old self is fighting to keep you enslaved to the past. It wants you numbed out, going through the motions, settling for a reality well beneath what's possible for you. It feeds on your lethargy, apathy, and overwhelm. So you have to be ruthless in starving it out and feeding your heroic, unstoppable, visionary self instead. From now on, when you notice yourself falling into that mental time loop of recreating the same problems, behaviors, and limitations from the past, I want you to rip the control override switch. Interrupt that cycle immediately with a power stance, a primal yell, or whatever it takes to pull you into the present moment. And in that elevated state of being fully conscious and aware, think about where you're placing your focus, because that's the plane you're preparing to travel to. Are you fixating on the problems, on what you're lacking? Or are you locking in on your vision with ruthless laser beam intensity? It's a constant practice of being the immovable force, bending your reality to your command through focus, pliancy, and emotional stamina. It takes the mental toughness and tenacity to refuse to energize anything other than your new desired reality. It means reprogramming your mind like a warrior in meditation, envisioning the new self you're fighting to free into this world. It means pushing past the doubt, the fear, and the temptation for immediate gratification, because you are ruthlessly invested in bringing that future self into physical form. I'm talking about a complete and utter revolt against unconscious living. By any means necessary, you starve out the old self, sever the neural networks. You have to be ruthless in raising your energy and vibration constantly. Strive to experience elevated emotions like passion, love, gratitude, and wonder as often as possible. Why? Because that's the energetic pattern you're recording your mind and body to sustain. When you operate from those high frequencies, you become powerful beyond measure. You start reprogramming your brain into a creation station saturated in coherent waves of possibility. Your cells start experiencing instructions to be more disciplined, more focused, more capable of evolving into that future vision you hold. But the lower emotional patterns like anger, hatred, guilt, or resignation, those are aligned with the programmed self-fighting to keep you enslaved. you have to be ruthless about interrupting those cycles and redirecting yourself back into higher vibrations. It's challenging work, but this is your life's great opus. You're fighting an inner war to free your authentic self from the conditioned shackles keeping you bound. It's an uprising against the limits and fears indoctrinated into your psychobiology over decades. So prepare for that voice of doubt, that energy of constriction and resistance trying to sabotage your efforts. When it surfaces, you have to be ruthless about not entertaining it. Bask in the vision of who you're becoming instead. Feed that energy and let the doubt starve. Be ruthlessly selective about what seeds you're planting in your interdimensional garden. This great self is gestating within you, fighting for life. It's desperate to be birthed into this reality and experience the freedom of unbounded expression. Will you rise up and be a ruthless midwife for that sacred process? Will you answer the rallying call to stop at nothing until it breaks free? Because that future self, that limitless version of you, isn't just some lofty fantasy. It's real as anything in this material world, and it's already alive in the inner dimensions of your being. But it needs you as the physical vessel and co-creator to fully materialize. So get ruthless. Get fired up. Let that burning desire for freedom and transcendence become an all-consuming blaze. See yourself as the phoenix rising from the ashes of your old self-limiting identity. Feel that power coursing through you as you break through karmic patterns and tear off the shackles of generational conditioning. You ruthlessly prune back anything misaligned with the truth of who you're becoming. Surround yourself only with influences, inputs, and environments catalyzing you higher. Burn the ships that could allow retreat into your comfort zones. Become a complete non-negotiable energy when it comes to suffering any longer in the limiting patterns of your past. This great work demands your total commitment and focus. There's no having one foot in your highest potential and another stuck in the patterns of the former self. You're an interdimensional bridge allowing spirit to pour into material form, so tend to that sacred channel through ruthless discipline and devotion. Become a Zen master at slipping out of the unconscious cycle of rehashing hurts, fears, and doubts. When you catch yourself getting lured onto that treadmill to nowhere, you pivot and put your mind back on the truth of your inevitable becoming. You want this transformation more than your next breath. You crave the liberation of living as that fully realized self more than anything. So let that be the unrelenting fire blazing in your soul, giving you the grit and determination to be ruthless until it's accomplished. You have to become ruthless about defending your energy field and consciousness. The forces of inertia and unconscious living will constantly try to penetrate your force field and sabotage your ascension. So you need a level of energetic autonomy and psychovigilance like never before. Treat your mindset like a high-security compound that nothing and no one can infiltrate without your conscious control. Secure those gates. Any thought virus, fear malware, or self-sabotaging Trojan horse trying to slip past your discernment gets identified and quarantined immediately. You sanitize that mental airlock and restore the purified frequency you're committed to embodying. Be ruthlessly discerning about what or who you allow into your consecrated mind space and whose thoughts you give authority to imprint on your consciousness. Because you're the curator, the custodian, the high priest protecting the sanctity of this interdimensional portal between spirit and form. That is your mind. You have to get ruthless about optimizing your lifestyle for this new vibration too. That means being ruthlessly honest about any habits, substances, or environmental toxins throwing a wrench in your evolution. You won't moderately indulge the things disrupting your coherence. You simply choose to be wholly free from them. Like a world-class athlete, you become precise about your sleep, your exercise, your respiration, and everything enhancing your epigenetic expression of this new personal reality. You're no longer an indulgent consumer. You're a sculptor of light chiseling away anything not serving the emergence of your masterpiece. And just as you choose your circumstances, you get ruthless about pruning back any relationships, influences, or thought partners not celebrating and encouraging this heroic journey of self-mastery. Let go of anything or anyone resisting your current and trying to keep you tethered to the past. Love them, but be in ruthless protection of this powerful chrysalis you're forming for total transmutation. Because you're playing by a new set of interior rules now. While others continue sleepwalking through the consensus reality, you're writing your own cosmic curriculum for personal freedom and embodied transcendence, no more following the inertia of the outdated operating systems of fear and limitation. From this day forward, you live by the sovereign edicts of your highest self and the universal principles of conscious creation. That's your prime directive now, to ruthlessly upgrade and align every molecule of your being with the divine blueprint you're activating. You become a master authority over the inner and outer conditions required for this legacy level work. You curate a living situation, a community, a lifestyle devotionally designed to midwife this next level emergence. You get ruthless sly hour about sustaining the coherence necessary for your atoms to rearrange themselves into the phylogeny you're dreaming of. You do whatever it takes to stay anchored in this high resonance because you know that energy is the software programming your state of being. When everything in your life is humming with that higher frequency pattern, you become a superconductor wired to the interdimensional source of all creation. You feel the thrum of cosmic electricity in your cells as you quite literally embody the qualities of your future self into physical form. And as you get better at sustaining these amplified energies, access points to abilities and potentials you can't even conceptualize yet start activating within you. You start witnessing levels of psychosomatic self-regulation and environmental co-creation that make your former self's beliefs seem laughably limited. Your consciousness upgrades come online through committed, disciplined adherence to the new psychospiritual algorithms you're modeling. This journey demands an uncompromising fierceness and a willingness to be ruthlessly all in. Why? Because you're quite literally hacking the matrix codes of reality itself. You're an interdimensional soul smuggler working to liberate your authentic self from the limiting constructs of the unconscious fear pattern world to get a job done. You have to become spiritual black ops, strategically infiltrating the day-to-day game of consensus reality, while covertly carrying out ops to overthrow it from within your own psyche. You become a surgeon, attacking the virus of limiting beliefs, scarcity mentalities, and disempowering stories hardwired into your brain's neural architecture. With focused aggression, you cauterize neural networks reinforcing helplessness, lack, and separation. You drill down eradicating malignant thought forms, spontaneously recreating patterns of struggle. You fearlessly excise the unconscious subroutines, fighting to keep you identified with your small, limited self. It's in their place. You rapidly rewire new circuits, enforcing beliefs around wholeness, abundance, and limitless possibility. You recalibrate your mind into an ultra-coherent supercomputer modeling the operating system of your future self. That unstoppable superhuman version of you already encoded in the hidden multiverse of potential. So get ruthless. Become a laser-focused energy warrior working mercilessly to liberate your true interdimensional essence from the shackles of third-dimensional consciousness. Because it's not just your life at stake here, it's the entire multi-generational legacy you're ancestrally scripting. Get ultra-disciplined about firing up your personal power plant with practices like meditation, breathwork, cold exposure, and fasting. You're essentially biohacking your body into an electromagnetic generator transmitting at the new frequencies you're anchoring. You're vigilantly maintaining an energetic elevation, making you resilient to the erosive, depleting resonance of this inertia-patterned world. In this potentized state, you become acutely sensitive to any dissonance destabilizing your new harmonic. So you ruthlessly purge any influences leaking the sound noise into your field. You discerningly filter out information streams disconnecting you from your sovereignty. You recalibrate all your inputs and environments to harmonize with and reinforce the vibration you're crystallizing as your new normal. Like an undercover operative on a subversive mission behind enemy lines, you maneuver with precision through the dimensions of daily life. You infiltrate and alchemize your workplace, your intimate relationships, your family systems, never allowing their unconscious, antiquated patterning to download dissonant frequencies interrupting your coherence. You become the immovable calm eye of the transcendental force birthing a new earth inside the decaying structures of the old one, ruthlessly unattached, yet extremely focused in your laser beam intention to resonate the new harmonics into physical manifestation. So get fired up, spiritual warriors. Catch the sacred fury to get ruthlessly self-determined about this alchemical ascension. Let your soul blaze so bright with the truth of your indestructible essence that it incinerates any remnants of your ego's domestication or smallness. Power up those light bodies with an incandescent desire for total, uncompromising liberation. Because it's time to stop playing church with these teachings. It's time to stop paying lip service to possibility while continuing to energize patterns of fear, scarcity, and unconscious living. You're taking the red pill to see just how deep the rabbit hole of human potential goes. You're crossing the event horizon forever, never to orbit the subdued, suppressed way of being preached by this world's fear-cultured consciousness. The universe is calling forth a new breed of spiritual revolutionaries, willing to go to the absolute depths to overthrow the reign of the unconscious living within themselves and on this planet. You're being summoned to the insubordinate path to totally revolt against the stale norms, limiting beliefs, and fear-coded programming keeping the human race stuck in psychospiritual infancy. So it's time to get brutally honest with yourself. No more half measures, no more compartmentalizing the parts of your life you're willingly remaining unconscious in. You're drawing a line in the cosmic sand, declaring your uncompromising intention to unfurl into the full majesty of your divinity no matter what. From this day forward, you become a non-negotiable force of nature. You match the universe's unbridled creativity and rule-breaking audacity with your own willingness to think and act far outside the conventional blueprints of identity, reality, and possibility. You permanently undermine every matrix of mass-mindedness, groupthink, and herd agreement keeping humanity tamed and domesticated. Get ruthlessly irreverent about upgrading your mindset, embodiment practices, and overall lifestyle to deviate from the norms modeled by a deeply unconscious society. You're taking the unbeaten path right off the map and into the great wide reality of your wildest coherent dreams and truths. So burn any trace of seeking permission, validation, or crossing approval from the masses sleepwalking through life to become the soul-forged spirit leading the revolution to unleash our species into its ultimate cosmic embodiment. Let your very existence trigger urgency in others to stop stopping themselves from their infinite potential. Model the ruthless self-honesty, commitment, and energetic discipline required to be among the first waves of humans actuating multidimensional superpowers, because you're on the heroic edge carving new pathways through the dense psychomaterial fabric of this holographic reality, with the precision of a spiritual Navy SEAL carrying out interdimensional black ops. You strike with laser beam intention and pinpoint coherence into the unified field itself. You shapeshift its atomic and molecular construct to activate in physical new coordinates of the human experience. That's the unstoppable level you're playing at now, warriors. You're installing neurological software and ionizing new human capabilities latent in our divine genome. You're psychonavigating space-time actualities and overwriting the unconscious social realities entrained into this dimension. You're evolving the very consciousness codes governing our earthly experience. Now is the time for the total, uninhibited embodiment of your supreme humanness. All limits, hesitations, and trepidations around claiming your sovereign glory must be incinerated with extreme prejudice. Let your radiant essence blaze so ferociously that it evaporates any residue of self-doubt, playing small or buying into a reality well beneath the miraculous truth of who you are. These are the cosmic championship rounds you've been training lifetimes for. No more warm-up acts or going through the motions. It's go time to suit up as the intergalactic superheroes descending to free humanity from the amnesia of its divinity. Get ruthless, fearless, and unwavering in your pursuit of total self-mastery and demonstrating the full power our species was seeded with. We're the dreadnought vanguard of a new reality birthing on this planet, while others remain codependent on system structures and authorities outdated and disempowering. We stand as wholly self-sourcing sovereign beings, capable of leveraging unlimited abundance and co-creative empowerment from within. With meteoric intensity and ruthless discipline, we recalibrate and ascend through higher and higher fields of cosmic consciousness and capacity. We manifest and integrate aspects of our divine selfhood yet unmanifest on this. You're entering a whole new domain of reality crafting now. One where the conscious capacities awakening within you start rewriting the fundamental rules this universe abides by. Your mere existence is someone no longer playing by the default settings of separation. Limitation and fear becomes an interdimensional disruptive force. As you master practices like energy manipulation, intentional creation, and non-local healing, your coherent vibration starts destabilizing the unconscious collective matrix, enslaving humanity in illusions of scarcity and powerlessness. You become a walking existential crisis for the egoic operating systems, convincing the masses to remain complacent and asleep at the wheel of their infinite power. With transcendental resolve, you utterly refuse to collude any longer in the system, stories and structures reinforcing our species' oppression. Like a freedom fighter bursting through the hypnotic trance, you detonate the reality tunnels funneling human consciousness into comatose states of victimhood and smallness. You dynamite the labyrinth of mental and emotional prisons where humanity's been trapped for eons, regressing souls back into dense physical form with each reincarnation cycle. With the scorching brilliance of your realized divine selfhood, you disintegrate the mythological shackles of our ancestral, cultural, and karmic conditioning. In your ascended state, you alchemize and repattern the very electromagnetic blueprints encoding our collective dream reality. You unravel the fear contagions and holographic software locking humans into finite, self-limiting paradigms. You override the unconscious projections of our co-creative powers onto external system structures and gurus, returning the atomic command unto each sovereign soul's divine stewardship. And as your crystalline consciousness bathes this planet in its high coherent frequencies, you activate Renaissance codes for our entire species to undergo radical transformation. You seek revolutionary morphogenetic wisdom into the infinite field of potentials, birthing new frontiers of supersensory experience, extrasensory superhuman capacity, and multidimensional living. Your very existence as one free being becomes a domino, exponentially catalyzing the awakenings of others. You inspire mass defections from realities defined by dogma, defending truths, and codependence on authorities separating people from their ultimate creative form. As you shine luminously as the new human actualized, you flood our dimension with photon codes activating fourth, fifth, and even sixth density senses that have remained dormant in our collective DNA. The implications are literally earth-shattering as reintegrated cosmic awareness floods our civilization. Rigid constructs and hierarchies predicated on separating humanity from its sovereignty dissolve into vapors before the truth of our interconnected, limitless, eternal nature. Entire systems and institutions built on the lie of lack and inequity disintegrate as our full abundance consciousness crystallizes at critical mass. Economic, political, and social structures become obsolete as each awakened sovereign learns to transmit and receive every need directly from Source itself. The outmoded sciences trapped in the brain's conceptual myopia give way to new quantum paradigms of consciousness-based healing, psychokinesis, anti-gravimetrics, and other paranormal abilities now activated in humanity's bioneurology and electrochemical architecture. At this level, you are a galactic ascension guide, modeling what it means to inhabit the impossible realities our human self has dismissed until now. You are an inspiratress manifesting the primal imagination of our species in physical form. Your coherence institutes new neurological software updates resolving humanity's ingrained holograms of separation, conflict, struggle, and material limitation. You are here as a renegade archangel, a spiritual seer surgeon removing the voracious virus of fear, anxiety, and lack patterning. The time's come to get ruthlessly committed to reclaiming our true multidimensional stature as infinite beings. We can no longer tentatively tiptoeing towards transformation. We must run meteorically towards it with everything we have. It's time to become the renegade immortals this universe has been calling forth. The psychic revolutionaries wielding consciousness like a flaming sword, dismantling the matrix walls, keeping our species sublimated in scarcity, unconsciousness, and disempowered dreaming. Let this be the uncompromising fire burning away every last vestige of playing small or subscribing to realistic narratives utterly divorced from the miraculous truth of what we are. Get ruthlessly irreverent about overriding any social fictions or authoritarian dogmas, dictating the limits of your sovereign birthright as a divine co-creator. From this moment, allow every cell of your being to rise up as an interdimensional freedom fighter. Let the powers you've been coded with since the beginning of existence ignite into a raging angelic fury, obliterating the mental and emotional cages keeping you trapped in self-limiting amnesia. Be as unrelenting and unstoppable in actualizing your supreme cosmic potential, as the forces of darkness and unconsciousness have been unrelenting in repressing it. Bare your full spiritual fangs and gnash with ferocious intensity on the veils of forgetfulness, blinding humanity to its indestructible essence. It's time to get ruthlessly relentless on defibrillating souls into remembering who they truly are. Radiant sparks of the one infinite creator endowed with capabilities beyond anything our uncultured conditioning has allowed us to fathom. Get mercilessly tenacious about reclaiming your species' destiny to thrive brilliantly across all space-times, dimensions, and cosmic planes. Prepare to dematerialize the very fabric of this holographic universe and rematerialize it into new textures of living freedom beyond present comprehension. Because you are the ones we've been waiting for. You are the avatars of the new earth descending to liberate all souls into the unleashed glory of our highest becoming. You are the fierce, the fearless, the ruthlessly committed to total cosmic embodiment. So I leave you now with an activated mantra of absolute determination to keep you forever in the fiery trajectory to self-realize. I am that I'm becoming with uncompromising intensity. Let those words sear through every atom of your beingness. Light your purpose with them into a raging spiritual bonfire, capable of illuminating this planet with your unstoppable transcendence. Stay ruthless, warriors. Your immortal essence demands nothing less.